If you're searching for the perfect family SUV that can save fuel like a compact car, carry the whole family in comfort, and still look premium enough to park next to luxury crossovers, then you seriously need to see this. The all-new 2026 Highlander Hybrid is finally here, and may have just perfected the everyday family SUV formula. This thing is smoother, smarter, more efficient, and honestly more refined than ever before. And with competition getting tougher from vehicles like the Telluride, Palisade, and Pilot, clearly knew they had to step things up. You're watching Drives, and today we're taking a full deep dive into one of the most practical and family-friendly SUVs of 2026. Right away, the new Highlander Hybrid gives off a more upscale vibe than before. Didn't completely redesign the SUV, but they refined almost everything to make it feel cleaner, sharper, and more premium. Starting from the front, you immediately notice the updated grille design. It's wider, bolder, and gives the SUV a much stronger road presence. The sleek LED headlights now look more aggressive, with sharper angles stretching into the fenders, making the Highlander feel more modern and athletic. The front bumper has also been reshaped to give the SUV a more commanding appearance. It still looks approachable and family-friendly, but now there's a little more confidence in the styling. Honestly, if you parked this next to an older Highlander, the difference would be obvious immediately. Also did a great job balancing sophistication with practicality. Some SUVs in this segment try too hard to look sporty, while others feel too plain. The Highlander sits right in the middle. It's classy without looking boring. Now moving toward the left side, the SUV continues to impress with smooth body lines and a very balanced profile. The side design looks cleaner than before, with subtle character lines flowing naturally from front to rear. It's not overly dramatic, but it has enough detail to keep the design interesting. The reshaped window line and chrome trim on higher trims give it a premium touch that almost makes it feel luxury-inspired. In some angles, especially with the larger wheels, the Highlander Hybrid actually reminds me a little of more expensive SUVs like the RX Hybrid. And speaking of wheels, those available 20-inch turbine-style alloy wheels really complete the look. They're stylish without being flashy, and they give the Highlander much more road presence than before. Also designed them to improve aerodynamics slightly, which helps with efficiency. One thing I really appreciate is that the Highlander Hybrid doesn't try to pretend it's an off-road SUV. Instead, it focuses on what most families actually need: comfort, efficiency, reliability, and easy everyday driving. And honestly, that's probably why the Highlander continues to sell so well. Now here's something I want to ask you guys. If you were shopping for a three-row SUV today, would you choose something sporty and aggressive, or would you rather have comfort and reliability like the Highlander? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this segment is getting seriously competitive. Moving toward the right side of the SUV, the proportions look just as solid. The Highlander has always been known for its balanced shape, and this new version keeps that reputation alive. It doesn't look too bulky or oversized, which makes it easier to drive in cities and parking lots compared to some massive three-row SUVs. The side mirrors are sleek and aerodynamic, visibility looks excellent, and the roofline stays practical enough to preserve interior space without making the vehicle look boxy. Clearly designed this SUV for real families who spend lots of time on the road. Now let's talk about the rear, because quietly upgraded this area in a really smart way. The back side of the 2026 Highlander Hybrid now looks cleaner and more modern. The LED taillights are slimmer and stretch more elegantly across the rear corners, giving the SUV a more upscale signature at night. The tailgate design has also been sculpted more carefully, adding depth and dimension without going overboard. There's a new spoiler integrated into the upper rear section, and the bumper design feels more refined overall. What I like most is that the rear still prioritizes practicality. The cargo opening looks wide, loading groceries or luggage should be easy, and there's enough space for road trips, school bags, strollers, or even camping gear. And let's be honest, for a lot of buyers, that's what matters most. Nobody wants a beautiful SUV that becomes annoying to live with every day. But the real magic of the Highlander Hybrid starts when you step inside. Absolutely understands their audience here. The interior feels calm, spacious, modern, and incredibly easy to use. Instead of trying to reinvent everything with confusing controls, improve the things people already liked. The dashboard design is much cleaner now, with soft touch materials across key areas and a more premium overall layout. Higher trims especially feel upscale enough to challenge entry-level luxury SUVs. Right in the center sits the massive 12.3-inch infotainment system, which is now standard on most trims. The screen is bright, responsive, and finally feels modern enough to compete with rivals from end. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, voice assistant support, and all the everyday features families actually use. and thankfully kept physical buttons for important controls, which honestly makes driving less frustrating compared to fully touch-based systems. Behind the steering wheel, the fully digital instrument cluster gives the driver customizable information layouts, fuel economy stats, navigation directions, and hybrid system monitoring. And now let's talk comfort, because this is where the Highlander hybrid really shines. The seats are soft and supportive, making long trips way easier on your back, clearly focused on making this SUV relaxing to drive rather than sporty or harsh. The second row can be configured either with a bench seat or captain's chairs depending on the trim. If you've got kids, those captain's chairs can be a game changer during long road trips. The third row is still best suited for children or shorter adults, but for occasional use, it works just fine. And honestly, having that extra row available is incredibly useful, even if you don't use it every single day. Storage space throughout the cabin is excellent too. There are cup holders everywhere, large door pockets, USB charging ports in multiple rows, hidden storage compartments, and a practical center console big enough for everyday family use. Also includes ambient lighting in higher trims, which makes nighttime driving feel more premium. And yes, the panoramic sunroof is still available, making the cabin feel brighter and more open during long drives. Now I've got another question for you guys. Would you rather buy a fully electric family SUV, or do hybrids like this still make more sense right now? Because honestly, the Highlander hybrid feels like a really smart middle ground. Now under the hood sticks with what they do best, hybrid technology. And honestly, that's probably the decision they could made. The 2026 Highlander Hybrid uses a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine paired with electric motors to produce a combined 243 horsepower. No, it's not designed to be a race car, but that's not the point of this SUV. What matters is how smooth and effortless it feels in everyday driving. Around the city, the hybrid system delivers quiet acceleration and excellent efficiency. In traffic, the electric assistance makes the SUV feel calm and refined instead of constantly stressed. The eCVT transmission also works surprisingly smoothly. Unlike older CVTs that sometimes felt noisy or rubbery, this hybrid setup feels very natural and refined now. And if you live somewhere with rain, snow, or rough weather, available all-wheel drive gives the Highlander extra confidence on slippery roads. It's not an off-roader, but for everyday family driving, road trips, and bad weather conditions, it should be more than capable. But the biggest headline here is fuel economy. The Highlander hybrid can deliver around 36 mpg combined, which is honestly incredible for a three-row SUV this spacious. Think about how much money families could save on fuel over several years compared to traditional V6 SUVs. And reliability is another major reason people trust hybrids so much. Has been building hybrid systems for decades now, and their reputation for durability is one of the strongest in the industry. Now let's talk pricing. The 2026 Highlander Hybrid is expected to start somewhere in the low-to-mid $40,000 range depending on trim level and drivetrain. Higher trims with premium features could climb into the $50,000 range, but even then, it still offers a lot of value considering the technology, comfort, efficiency, and long-term reliability you're getting. Compared to rivals like the Telluride or Palisade, the Highlander Hybrid might not feel as flashy inside, but counters with proven reliability and exceptional fuel economy. And for many buyers, that matters more than giant screens and fancy lighting effects. At the end of the day, the 2026 Highlander Hybrid feels like one of the SUVs you can buy right now. It's comfortable, efficient, spacious, practical, and refined enough to handle everything from school runs to cross-country road trips. Didn't try to completely reinvent the Highlander. Instead, they improved the formula carefully, and honestly, that may have been the best move possible. Because this SUV already had a winning recipe, now it just feels more polished than ever. So would you actually choose the Highlander hybrid over rivals like the Telluride, Palisade, or Pilot? Or would you still go for something or more luxurious? Let me know down below because I really want to hear your opinions on this one. And if you enjoyed today's review, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Drives, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest car reviews, first looks, and automotive updates. More exciting SUVs and future car reveals are coming soon, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.